Hey there, it's Krystal Everdeen, and today I'm going to share with you how to crochet this spiral pattern using 2 colors. Now, of course, you can use whatever colors you like as well as any type of yarn that you like, but for this project, I'm using size 4 100% cotton yarn from the brand Mainstays. I'll also leave links to where you could get either this or similar yarn in the description box down below. I am also using a size 5mm hook for this project, but of course, you could use whatever size, color, of a yarn or hook that you would like, and the pattern will be the exact same. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our color 1. So for me, color 1 is white and color 2 will be black, but again, use whatever colors that you would like. And the first thing we're going to do is make a slip knot. Then from there, we're going to chain 4. And after you've chained 4, we're actually going to go into that very first chain that you created with a slip stitch. Now, if you're a complete beginner to crochet, I will also be leaving a crochet for beginners video in the description box down below. So after you have made your little cluster here by going into the first chain that you created with a slip stitch, you are then going to find the center of that little circle, that little cluster that you made, and make 6 double crochets inside of that center. So you're going to find the center stitch and make 6 double crochets inside of that same center stitch. And if you're unfamiliar with what a double crochet is, it is yarn over through the stitch, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through the last 2 loops, and that is a stitch that I go over in my crochet for beginners video if you need a little bit of a refresher. And again, that is linked in the description box down below. But okay, now that you've completed 6 double crochets, your project should look something like this, kind of like a half circle, which is perfectly fine because we're going to complete the rest of the circle with color number 2. And again, my color number 2 is black, so I'm going to grab my black yarn and make a slip knot. Then I'm going to attach color number 2 to the project with a slip stitch. And after I have attached color number 2 to the project, I am going to again make 6 double crochets, but now using color number 2. And again, I'm going to be making these 6 double crochets inside of that center stitch that we created when we first, made our little cluster. So it's all going into that same center stitch. And again, we're making 6 double crochets inside of that center stitch, but this time using color number 2. So after you've created 6 double crochets using your color number 2, that's when we have completed our base, and then we can move on to row 1. So I've completed my 6 double crochets with color number 2, and this is what it looks like together. So a little bit of a half and half situation going on right here. And we're just going to continue with row number 1. But first, you actually need to make sure that you have a stitch marker, because that's going to be important for this pattern. So make sure you have a stitch marker for this. In order to start row number 1, you're going to go back to color number 1, which is white for me, and you're going to go into that first stitch using color number 2, which is black for me. So I'm going to make 2 double crochets inside of that first stitch using my white yarn, and I'm going to grab my stitch marker and mark where that first stitch was. And again, you can use whatever you want as a stitch marker. I'm using this little safety pin. You can use an actual crochet stitch marker. You can use a bobby pin. You can use, I don't know, whatever creative thing that you want in order to mark that first stitch. So after you've made those 2 double crochets inside of that first stitch, you're going to continue making 2 double crochets inside of every single stitch on top of color number 2. And since I made a total of 6 double crochets with color number 2, I'm going to make a total of 12 double crochets with my color number 1 on top of the color number 2. So again, 2 double crochets per stitch until you reach the end of the color, and then we're going to switch back to color number 2 and do the exact same thing but opposite to complete the row. And it might get a little bit confusing because you don't complete the row until you've done both colors of that same pattern for that row and you reach the stitch marker again. So even though you feel like you made a full row using one color, you haven't technically completed the row until you do the exact same thing with the other color. So now that I have completed the white portion or color number 1 portion of the project, for this half of the row, I'm going to complete the row by doing the exact same pattern, but with color number 2. So I switched over to color number 2, and I'm going to complete the row by making 2 double crochets per stitch until I get to the stitch marker. So I'm going to just go into every stitch here and make 1 double crochet, then go into the same stitch and make another double crochet inside of that same stitch, then go into the next stitch, make another double crochet, then go into the same stitch again and make another double crochet, then go into the next stitch, double crochet, then same stitch, double crochet, next stitch, yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, back through the stitch, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through the last 2 loops. Do that again inside of the same stitch. And this is what the project should start looking like. And once you've reached that stitch marker, you are done with the row, and now we could start with row number 2, which is a slightly different pattern. So remove your stitch marker and then switch back to color number 1. So I will be switching back to my white color. And from here, for row number 2, you're going to start off the same. You're going to go into the first stitch and you're going to make 2 double crochets inside of that first stitch. Then you're going to make sure that you mark that first stitch that you made for the new row with your stitch marker. Then continue on with the pattern. And for row number 2, it's going to be 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, followed by 1 double crochet inside of 1 stitch, followed by 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, followed by 1 double crochet inside of 1 stitch, so it alternates. You're going to be making 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch every other stitch, and then for every other stitch you're going to be making only 1 double crochet inside of 1 stitch. So right here I just made 1, so for the next stitch I'm going to make 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch. And then for the next one, I'm just going to make 1 double crochet inside of 1 stitch. And then for this one, I'm going to make 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch. And then for the last one, I'm just going to make 1 double crochet inside of that 1 stitch. So again, it just alternates from making 2 double crochets inside 1 stitch to making 1 double crochets inside 1 stitch. And yeah, that's going to be in row number 2. So you're going to do the exact same thing, but now with color number 2. So just switch colors. This is what the project should look like so far. Again, switch colors to color number 2 and do the exact same thing. Start off by making 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet inside of the next stitch. Then you're going to be making 2 double crochets inside of the stitch after that, followed by 1 double crochet inside of the next stitch, followed by 2 double crochets inside of the stitch after that, followed by 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, and the second one. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet inside of the stitch after that, and so on and so forth until you reach the stitch marker, which will then have us begin row number 3, which is going to be the last row that we make, because after this row then you just continue with the same pattern over and over again until you're happy with the size of your project. So after you completed row number 2, your project should look something like this. And now we could remove the stitch marker and start the next row. So I'm going to switch over to color number 1, make 2 double crochets inside of that first stitch. Then I actually don't need to mark this anymore, but it's fine. You can if you want to. The pattern for row number 3 is a 1-1-2, so essentially, well, it's more like a 2-1-1. Essentially, you start the row with making 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, similar to what I'm doing right now. So 2 double crochet inside 1 stitch. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet inside of the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet inside of the stitch after that. And then you're going to go back to making 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch for the next stitch. And then after you made those 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, you're going to make 1 double crochet in the next stitch, as well as 1 double crochet in the stitch after that, then 2 double crochets in the stitch after that, then 1 double crochet followed by another 1 double crochet, followed by a 2 double crochet inside 1 stitch. So again, it's a 2-1-1 pattern, and you're going to continue that until you need to switch colors. So again, I'm going to make 2 double crochets inside 1 stitch here, followed by just 1 double crochet inside of the next stitch, then another 1 double crochet inside the stitch after that, then 2 double crochets inside of the stitch after that, followed by 1 double crochet inside of that last stitch here. And this is what the project should look like so far. And now all we need to do is complete the row by switching to color number 2 and following that exact same pattern. So you're going to start off by making 2 double crochets inside of that first stitch. But this is what the project looks like so far. I just kind of wanted to show you. And again, you do not need the stitch marker at this point. I should have just taken off right here. But yeah, so from here, I'm going to be working with my color number 2. Start off by making 2 double crochets inside 1 stitch, then 1 double crochet, then another 1 double crochet, then for the next one, 2 double crochets inside 1 stitch, and 2 double crochets inside 1 stitch, then 1 double crochet inside 1 stitch, another 1 double crochet inside the next stitch, followed by 2 double crochets inside the stitch after that, then 1 double crochet, another 1 double crochet, and so on and so forth, but not only until I reach the stitch marker. This time I'm going to go all the way around to where I ended with color number 1, and then from there I'm just going to keep going in circles following that same pattern. So I'm just going to stop right here where I left the stitch marker, but in reality I'm actually just going to keep on going. And this is what the project should look like now that you've completed all of the different patterns for each row, and now all you have to do is follow that exact same pattern all around. So now instead of working to the end of the stitch marker, you're just going to work to the end of the row. So right now I'm working with the black yarn. I'm going to continue working my way down until I reach the last stitch of the row here. Then I'm going to switch colors and then go all around in a circle, then switch colors and go all around in a circle, then switch colors, so on and so forth. Continue with that same pattern, that way you are increasing the number of stitches per row as the project gets larger and larger and larger, and your project should look something like this. Now I did decide to share this tutorial because this spiral pattern is actually going to be part of a larger project that I'm going to be sharing with you soon. I've been working on it for forever. So I'm really excited to finally be sharing it with you. And if you actually came to this tutorial from that video, welcome. I hope that you found this video either interesting, entertaining, or helpful. And if you did, please give it a big thumbs up before you go. And check out the rest of my channel. I have so many crochet related videos ranging from beginner friendly tutorials to more advanced crochet with me, styling my crochet, crochet ideas, and so much more. And don't forget to click that red subscribe button if you have not already, so I can see you next time. Bye! And have a magical day.